Hey y'all, TRG here, back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the potential for a widespread severe weather outbreak all the way from Texas to Illinois, back east towards Ohio, and even the deep south towards Alabama. So this will most likely be a widespread severe weather event and possibly even an outbreak of severe weather. Let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So we're starting out here with the 500 millibar wind speeds for March 30th, and you'll notice we have this really well-defined, positively tilted trough ejection out here towards the Four Corners areas of the southwestern portion of the U.S. And if we bring this into April 1st, I should say actually March 31st for this day, again, that just really traverses the Rockies there in the Four Corners area. And it's not till April 1st where we start to see this very well-defined short wave be embedded inside of this more elongated, positive and neutrally tilted trough ejection. So we'll definitely continue to monitor the orientation of this trough. Models are still very much uncertain. You can see how this particular model of the GFS has both a positive and a neutral trough here, more being that positively tilted elongated trough ejection and the neutrally tilted shortwave trough out there. And then if we bring this forward, you'll notice that this kind of still stays as a positively orientated trough here, and it's really going to be the shortwave that's going to be our biggest issue. So again, we'll just bring this hour by hour here, pretty much every 3 hours actually on the GFS. Here's April 1st, then we move into April 2nd, and it's really going to be April 1st and April 2nd where our biggest threat of severe weather is most likely going to be present. And I'll show you guys the SPC outlook here in just a second, but I want to go ahead and show y'all now the lower level jet. This is something we looked at in yesterday's stream on the 27th, and it wasn't nearly as intense as what it is now. On April 1st, beforehand, in yesterday's model runs, we had a lower level jet of about 20 to 25 knots. Now, in some instances, the GFS is showing a very widespread area of even 60 knots worth of a lower level jet out here. So that would be a very, very big issue. Why? Because that would mean these storms would probably have the potential for significant tornadoes if this were to actually occur. Now, it is still far enough out to the point where a lot of uncertainties are very well present. So we'll just have to monitor it very, very close. And again, this is for April 1st, which I believe is going to be the biggest day. If we just rewind this a little bit to March 31st, you can see there's not really nearly as well of a defined lower level jet out here. So some isolated strong storms on March 31st may be a possibility. There's still a bit too many uncertainties regarding that. But it doesn't look like anything organized for March 31st. Now, April 1st, again, looks like the biggest day, and maybe even April 2nd as well, out here towards Ohio and Pennsylvania, and maybe even West Virginia and Kentucky as well. So we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on the models. Now, this has a lot of uncertainties. There's a lot of uncertainties regarding April 2nd because some models have the trough setting up further towards the southern portion of the risk area, closer to areas like Mississippi and Alabama. And then this particular model run has it setting up closer to the Ohio Valley in the Midwest, up towards the northern Ohio Valley, I should say. And, you know, areas like Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Indiana getting the brunt force of this trough ejection. And then, of course, it dissipates by the time we go into April 3rd. Maybe a bit of a coastal threat there on April 3rd, but not really much to speak of for the 3rd of April there. Now let's look at our instability. So we looked at our jet stream. We have the mid-levels and we have the lower level jet stream. Before we continue on with today's video, make sure you hit that like button and share this video with your family, friends, and on social media to help spread weather awareness. And subscribe to the channel with the notification bell set to all so that way you get notified when we go live, and also help you be weather aware. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let's go ahead and continue. Now let's look at our instability. This is a very big key factor in the sense of severe weather and thunderstorms forming. For Sunday, March 31st, you can see we do have quite a broad area of potential thunderstorm instability and juice out there for thunderstorms to thrive. But at this particular moment, we don't have much of that lower level jet. If we go and switch that, we do have a bit of a lower level jet in place. So there may be a risk for, like I said, some isolated stronger. And this actually shows a bit of a severe storm threat as well. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on March 31st. But again, quite a few uncertainties regarding that. And then if we pull this out towards the night area, or the nighttime of March 31st, really the morning of April 1st here. This is a tricky setup out here in the plains because we don't know at all if this is going to be capped. It's really going to come down to mesoscale features and if that environment is capped or not, if we're going to see severe weather or strong storms fire there for March 31st. And then we go into our big day, April 1st, very large uncapped warm sector out here towards the, the classic tornado alley area. You're talking about central Texas and big time Tornado Alley, central Oklahoma, southeastern, and most of eastern Kansas. So that is a crazy look to it right there. And if we go on into April 2nd, not nearly. Ooh, actually, this particular model shows it a lot more uncapped. I thought it was going to stay like this, but nope. So it goes completely uncapped, which is different from yesterday's models, which showed a relatively capped environment for April 2nd. So this is still going to change a lot, which is why I don't really want to be looking at this threat as much. But the main area I'm paying attention to April 2nd is really going to be out here because that's where the SPC already has an outlined area of severe weather. Now we could go ahead and take a look at moisture. I just want to look for April 3rd real quick. Yeah, nothing big there. So let's go ahead and take a look at moisture return, which is another key factor here. And this is what's probably going to limit your severe weather potential on March 31st. But I mean, man, that's an uptrend. So we looked at this again in yesterday's live stream, and we didn't have this large of a warm sector. It took one more day to April 1st for that warm sector to really become more broad. It looked more like this for March 31st, this is the morning of March 31st. But by the time you go into the evening hours, it explodes in intensity there, and we could have a bit more of a widespread severe weather threat on March 31st. So we will keep an eye on that. But there's still, again, a lot of uncertainties regarding that. And then we go on into April 2nd here, and yeah, I mean, it still looks like quite a big severe weather threat for April 1st, April 2nd. So I mean, that warm sector stays in place. March 31st, it really becomes well defined, and then April 1st, you get that low pressure that moves through, and you have that very strong cold front, warm front here that pushes through on April 1st, and there it goes into Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois. Now on April 2nd, into Ohio and Pennsylvania. So this could be a very widespread severe weather outbreak. Now the tornado magnitude of this is still yet to be determined, again because of that lower level jet stream, so we'll just keep a very close eye on that, and I will let you guys know if anything does change. We'll be live again later on tonight on the 28th, and I want to show you guys the SPC outlook because, well, that is extremely important. So here is your day 5 outlook from the SPC, and yeah, I mean, very large area, 27.5 million people undergone for severe weather here on this particular day, which is going to be for April 1st, all the way from, get this, Richmond, Indiana, all the way to Kansas City, Missouri, and even Topeka, Kansas, down towards, oh my word, Killeen and Waco, Texas. That is a very large area of potential severe weather. And by the way, normally when we see this 15% chance get added by the SPC, typically we talk about severe weather and significant severe weather being a possibility when we see this 15% get added on the day 4 through 8 outlook, which for this day is day 5. So imagine if we had significant severe weather potential along this entire area. Now you're getting a look at what this system may actually be able to cause. So we are watching that whole area, and even outside of it too, even outside of it, if you are out here towards, say for instance, Woodward, Oklahoma, or out here towards Shreveport, Louisiana, or Memphis, Tennessee, or Louisville, Kentucky, or just barely outside that 15% chance for severe weather, you could still end up with strong to severe storms by the time the day 1 outlook rolls around and we see these storms fire. A lot of stuff is still going to change, so I want to make that very clear, but generally this is where we're looking for severe weather, and even the potential for significant severe weather, which may include strong tornadoes, unfortunately. So hopefully you guys stay hyper weather aware out there. We're going to move on into day 6, which is going to be a 15% chance over portions of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and even Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Tennessee, all inside that 15% chance for severe weather. Now, we don't have a day 7 outlook added, but I do want to go back to the day 6 because I want to note that this area will probably be expanded more northward. I do see greater potential for severe weather up here towards Indiana, Ohio, and western Pennsylvania. So areas like Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and for instance, areas maybe even towards Fort Wayne, Indiana, might be included in a 15% chance for severe weather if models continue to hint towards that significant severe weather potential shifting more northward. But generally, like I said, models are going to be changing a lot, which is why this 15% chance is still quite large. We'll see if it stays this large, because it may stay this large just due to the impacts that we may see over a widespread location, but there are still uncertainties on where the severe weather setup will exactly set up here. Like I said, some models show it a bit more to the south, other models show it more to the north, and that's why the SPC has kind of put it dead in the center here for day 6, which is April 2nd. And then for day 5, there is a lot of consistencies on a significant shortwave forming, which is why they have such a large 15% out for day 5, which is April 1st once again. So just stay hyper weather aware out there, y'all. This does have a very good potential to be a severe weather outbreak. This is the best potential that I have seen so far in 2024. So this could be our first major severe weather outbreak, but we still have a lot to determine. Like I said, there's a whole lot more that we're going to have to work out here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video before you leave, as well as subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and watch severe weather. Goodbye.